So this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and welcome to this year. We're trying to understand the Matbeach Bracha, what its power is. That we're understanding here that it's not just sufficient to say a bracha, which is very important, but also if you have the ability to understand the magic that takes place when you say each individual word. So we went through the word Baruch. We saw different kinds of yichudim, the development of mochin that are coming downwards, and all of this is coming from a high place going down, remembering that we're dealing with katniss here. Zer Anpin is in a stage of vok. And we've learned a phrase that we keep seeing over and over again, but it's just like we're observers. I feel like I'm an observer trying to see what it is the RASHASH is doing. I think that to a certain extent, these are all mantras that a person could work on and say them over and over and over again. If you see them and just spell out the letters like Yud, Vav, Daled, K, Yud, Vav, K, Yud, I find that when I do that, it actually has an impact on me, making me feel like I want Hashem more, or trying to cling to Hashem. We've seen in the Zohar that Hashem is coming at us as well as we're looking for Him. So we go through these are mochin, these are different combinations that say where the mochin are going. We went through the word Baruch. Whoops, watch this. Went to the word Ata, how the light continues to develop downwards. Once again, we have these are pictures of mochin. Here, we also have the concept of the five chasadim. Here they are here, and here are the five gevuros. Whoops, down below. All of these things are all of these oros and mochin that protect them. Let's not forget that we have the concept of cold summer. I don't think I have this handy. Well, in fact, I do. Cold summer. This is actually, it could be reversed, but this is the way that it's given. On the most panimistic aspect, the aspect which is hardest to see of the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, the most powerful part are called oros. They're surrounded by mochin, which is surrounded by tzlomim, which is surrounded by levushim, and ultimately kalim. Now we'll start picking up the kalim and seeing that more through the sifra, through the RASHASH. You come to the name Atah, then you come to the name Hashem. All of these things are pictures of what happens when you say this name. Here we have the oros, and then he goes into this pattern, which is the 42. So we had said before that 42 is, let's say you had a plant that you wanted to grow in your garden and you put the seed in. This is what we're doing, we planted the seed, but you want it to grow upwards. So you have to have a growing agent in it, and that's what this is the name of 42. 410 is 14, plus 28 letters is 42. And that is all going to be surrounded over here by the milui only. In other words, it's far away, it's far out. That's what I think. Anyway, then we go on. We see how the mochin are coming down, and ultimately they come to this formation, which is once again 232, called Ralev. And this, if you count them up and you look carefully, you'll understand here that there are three different types of haze. This is called a Daled Yud makes a hay, Daled Vav makes a hay, and Vav 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 makes a hay. The significance of all of this has to do, I think, with the concept of what is feeding into Zer Anpin, who is Chagat Nai. So we have in the RASHASH a concept of which we've seen over and over again is the Chagat Nai of Chagat. What's Chagat? Chagat is the Vok, the simple, Zer Anpin, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. His 6 spheros. That's Zer Anpin. That's who he is. That's how he was born. That's how he's made. We say the magic word Elokeinu. Once again, we see the 42. Then this is the most powerful part. The Melech Olam. Let's come down here. You say the word Melech Olam. Now, you could say this every time you make a bracha. You think that what you're going to do is when you get to the word Melech Olam, you're going to look at your own soul and offer it to Hashem. And he says that I don't really know the philosophy of why this is called. These are the mochi, and of course we have Yud K Vav K, and we have Adni, and we have Ekya. How that all fits together, I don't know yet. But they refer to the Arba Misos. It's called the Arba Misos based in the 4 different types of death penalties, all go along with these mochi. Now, how it works or what it is, I'm still waiting for revelation to try to get an idea. On the other side, we have that's a very important idea. So we had said that what happens is when you reach the bottom, there's a reverse angle, starts going back upwards again. It hits the bottom. The bottom is the offering of our souls to God, and we have to. That has to be thought about a lot. And then we have the name 72. Then we have another name 72, but this is different. But this, if you take this is Av. If you take this word, Yud K Vav K, which is a gematria 63, add on the 10 letters themselves. Now, what this accomplishes, I don't know. But it also makes the number 71. Then if you take the name Hashem, which is, excuse me, it makes a gematria 73. My mistake, sorry. It makes a gematria 73, so we have 72, 73. Then you have the name Yud K Vav K together with the name Ma. Ma is 45, that makes 71. You have 72, 73, and 71. And finally, the Revuah of Avaya comes to gematria 72. Now, I can tell you what they say, but to try to really appreciate it, what they say is that these are the sparks of holiness that are trapped in the outer worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. They call it Bria most of the time, but Bria also has an aspect of it, which is Yetzirah and Asiya going on. And he says that these are trapped in all the lower worlds. And when our kavanah is that when we go through the Arba Misos based in, we're also causing an upward movement because we're get to the very, that's you, when you offer your soul, he says, you're in the Shama. You're offering everything along with it, every bit of your essence, and so therefore you're coming to these combinations of 72. 4 times 72 is 288, which is called Rapa. Now what happens is we now have a reverse flow, and so in the reverse flow, in other words, what we saw was coming down. It came down to a certain point. You use the Arba Misos based in, and you come therefore over here. So what's going on over here? Let's take a look at the page in general. Well, have we seen this before? This is a flow of light, but all of the flow on this page and what we're going to see is going upwards instead of downwards. So whatever we brought down towards Malchus at the beginning, we're now bringing it back up. So let's see what we have here. What's going back up? Where's it going? We'll talk about it. What's going back up is the Oros. This is the Or of Keser, Chochmah Bina Das, Chesed Gevurah Tiferes, Netzach Hod Yesod. This is the pneumistic part. Now there's all one element. It's all Kol Soma that's coming, surrounded by the Mochi. These are the Mochi, and the Das actually has 2 sub-Mochim. Mochinim, what the right word. The 2 sub-Moachs. One is the 5 Chasadim of 5 Chasadim, and the other is the 5 Gevuros. This is all going upwards now. These are the female Mochi. Then he says we're going to go to those 42s again. So this is the Pashat, Mali, and the Mali. And at the end, you have once again, see, I'm not on the right place. I'm not where you can really see it. Sorry. He says you have first of all, these are the Mochin of Abba, Ima, and Das, or this Chochmah Bina Das. So once we have that's what we're looking at. We're looking at what's in them. Now they're going up. Before they were going down. Now this is all moving upwards. And that which came down, which now go back up. So we have, as we said, Chochmah Bina Das. Then in each one of them, because this is called Av, Sag, Uma, which is abbreviated as Asam in many places, that the Asam actually has the ability, or can be made into 42s. So, like we had this concept, the 42 is the power of the catalyst that allows everything to go up. So all of this which came down is now going up. Now, let's read, there's just a little bit of intro on this. Let's bring this down to see it. What we're looking at is this phrase right here. This phrase, and it says, what we're trying to do now, everything is reversed and la'alos to bring everything up. The Gimel Salmim Amochim, the Shlosha Partsufim Panimim, the Chabad, the Chagat, the Zun. Okay, so let's try to translate this. First of all, what's a Tselem? Tselem is the light that comes from Ima. It comes in three different parts, or comes, well, we normally say in Ima, it's probably Avatu because he's inside of Ima, and they're writing together. He is hidden in there. We're going to take the tselem. Now, what we said before is there's a cold somot. Tselem is a wrapping of the ore. So some of the tselem is what we call the or panimi, which is the tzad of the tselem. And some of the tselem is or makif. These are the facts. And they're the lamed mem. They're called the lamed mem of the tselem. So the tzlomim. So he says the tzalmei hamochim, the shlosha partsufim, of three partsufim. Which are the three partsufim? And he says not just partsufim, they're partsufim penimim. Which partsufim penimim? Reading backwards, we're talking about martzufatina de zun. What part of zun are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the top part of the chagat. And we see this over and over again in the RASHASH. Now we're seeing it. Is that Chagat is the operant, because Chagat really represents the Zeranpin. It's the Chagat Nai of Chagat. But you also have a top part of Chagat, which is the Chabad de Chagat. So this is where he says, you're good. La'alos gimel salme hamochin the shlosha partsufim abenimim the Chabad de Chagat de Zun. It's going to the top part. Now, why is it going to the top part? Don't know. Rabbeinu Kodesh Rabbi Nachman teaches me, start at the beginning, you'll start picking up, you'll see what he's been talking about all the way through. Okay, we're at the beginning, so we're working on the Matbea Bracha. So he says, this is the Chabad, the Chagat, the Zun. It could also be the Chagat, the Zun, because Nai, the Chagat, the Zun. All of those things, because the Chagat has a Chagat, Nai. Going on. Shehem Asmab. What in fact are these Tzalmei Mochin? They're Av Sag Ma'u Ben. Then Kasa Kama Kana. These are the Mochim of Abba, and these are the Mochim of Ima. Im HaChug, together with these Chug, which is Chachamim, Chasadim, and Gevuros. That's also abbreviated as Chug. It's called Chug. And we'll see them. They are down here. All of this, remember, is going upward. And that's the big chiddush over here with what's going on. He says, la'alos, so he mentions the mogim, and the chug, im, then the ranchi, and here we go to a phrase that we saw before. The whole panoply of lights, which is neranchi, nefesh, ruach, neshama, chayin, yechida. But that is only of an aspect, which is in the nechi, which is the top lights. So he makes that, I don't know how he does this, but he makes this into a parts of light. The nechi. So the nechi by itself is what we're dealing with. Before we were talking about the Chabad, the Chagat. Now we're talking about the lights on the ranchi, the nechi of the which probably goes along with Chabad. The ruach shebechem, of the ruach that's in them. Once again, I'm trying to trace what's going on. The ruach. Ruach is Zer Anpin. Zer Anpin is Olam Yetzira, or Zer Anpin is a ruach. Now, what does he have for us? These are lights going upwards. They're going up. Keser, Chachma Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Surrounded by the Asmab and the Kasa Kamankana. Now, I use those words quickly. Let me get it up where you could see it. Av, Sag, Ma'uben. Now, this is the way he lays it out. Now, why exactly it's laid out like this? In other places, he lays it out where he puts the Kasa Kamag Kana at the end. Here he has two parts. That is the, I guess you would call this the Chochma aspect of Ima, and this would be the middle line aspect of Ima, and this would be the bottom of Ima. Now, again, Zir Anpin has 4 Malchim because Das splits. The Nukva, though, doesn't have that situation. Her Das does not split, and as a result of that, she has only 3 Malchim, not 4. Now, this is all going upwards. Let's go down to the bottom again. First thing we do, I guess, trying to learn how to learn this. So he said the first thing we do is we look at the pattern. So this is Chabad at the top. Chochma Bina Das. Underneath them, in each one of those lines, and these lines are called Asam, Av, Sag, Ben. So they're called the 3, I just said it wrong. Av, Sag, Ma. Those are the 3 lines. So what we're showing here is the 3 lines. This is the line of Chochma, this is the line of Bina, and this is the line of Das. Each one of those, that is Av, Sag, Ma, has a combinations of 42 letters. So we had said before, what we're doing now is we're taking the catalytic aspect of this 42, which we said before causes rising, and taking that whole concept that we brought down so that we could get everything up. We're taking the whole thing up. All of it is going up. That's what you see here. Now, this is the final page of the shir today. And this is, I guess, sort of like the punchline. What happened here is that we brought the lights down until they crashed at the bottom and went back up. So they went back up, and how did they go back up? Because we employed a concept called the Arba Mises based in, which means that we look at ourselves as if we are sacrificing or going to be sacrificed by the 4 different types of ways that a person could be killed by the based in. Skila, Sreifa, Herek, Vechenek. So let's move on. I think before we do this, and we're learning the Matbea Bracha, which you're going to see the Matbea Bracha is pretty similar in different places. We're going to see more development perhaps, but the same idea is always the same, is that they're going to bring down to a crash spot. The crash spot then calls to Hashem for help, because he's the Panemius, and he's able to bring all the pieces back together again that broke as a result of the crash. So it's a Biruri Kalim. So now what's going to happen is the Kalim, which were broken, we're going to take them up and bring them back into a Silus. Va'oras the Rapach, and the lights that go along with it, the lights that go along with it, because what happens is that the Kalim break, and then the lights, what happens to them? They could be stuck in Bria also. So therefore, we have to bring them up. So these are the Malachim, the Tzilas Bria, Tzir Nasiya, the Shlosha Partzufi Kach Bad HaKolim, Kach Bad HaKolalim. We'll translate in a minute. The Partzufi Abia, the Zun HaGadolim, the Hitzonius, the Tzilus. Wow. I know the next part. This one, not so good. So these are the Biruri Kalim. So what we're doing, we're bringing everything up. So you imagine like this. You fell down, now you're dead. You offered your life before Hashem, and everything that's inside of you, all of your Kedusha, all your spirituality is now going to come up now, because you need that Shefa from Hashem. So these are the Birurim, these are the parts that were broken that are now being brought up. For Oros the Rapach. Rapach, once again, we saw that. Where is Rapach over here? This is what the Rapach looks like. It's 4 sets of 72. 72, so this is 45, this is 63 plus 10, 73. This is 26 plus 45 is 71, and finally the Revu is 72. If you add them all together, they come to 288. We are bringing that up. This is the power of self-sacrifice, if you didn't know. Biruri Kalim. So we're going to start bringing these up. Va'oros the Rapach, and the lights that are lost down below. The Malachim, the Abiyah of the different Malachim, the kings. That is, every parts is going to have 7 kings in it. 7 kings represents the Zat that broke in the Olam HaNekudim. He said, the Malachim, the Abiyah, the Shlosha Partsufi Kachba, that has to do with the Abiyah, which we just said is Atzias Brili, Yitzir and Asiya, all of that are being dredged up. The Shlosha Partsufi Kachba, the 3 Partsufim of the highest level, which is Keser, Chochma, Bin, and Das, Hakolonim, as all of them, as bundle them all together, the Partsufi Abiyah, and it's coming out of the Partsufim, same place. He says, in other words, these are the Malachim the Abiyah. Now we're going to the Partsufim of Abiyah the Zun of Zohar V'Nuk, as seeing them as an entity which represented by the concept of Chagat Nai, Chesed Gevurah Tiferes, that's a whole Yisod. The Zun Agadolim. This is a Zun as he's grown up to his full height. The Chitzonis, the Tzilos, at the very outside of the Tzilos. That's where we're taking them to. Now, there's a lot of words here, and I don't know why he's at the top, but he is, and we're reading it. In other words, the top is Kachbat. Why did he take it from Kachbat, or why is it going to Kachbat? And the Kachbat of the Partsufim of Abiyah, the Zun, that is all the hidden worlds inside of the Partsuf, which is now calling Zun. But there's a Zun a Katana, and there's a Zun Hagadola. So here's the Zun Agadolim. The Hitzonius Atzilas, and where are they located? They're working there. When you get to this, it's called the Roma Ma'alos. It goes all the way up to the most high place, the closest imaginable place for ourselves, to the Ein Sof. And it says like this. We're going to go to Malchus the Chesed, Malchus the Gevurah, Malchus the Tani. This is Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Malchus the Malchus. What are these? So we're going back. These are the Rapach. We saw them a minute ago. He says this is the Av Madrega Zion. Now Av is the most high place. Av is the highest level of Malach. So there is also an Asmab of the Av. So it has the Av Sag Ma'u Ben inside of itself. Here we're going to the top of the top. That is called the Roma Ma'alos, the yichud of SAG, but the of SAG D'AHK. It's a really high place. So this is the Malchus, the Chesed, and it's the name, a simple 72. This is the Malchus Gevurah, which is not so simple, because you have to take the 63, which is this, and add 10 onto it. It makes it 73. Then the Malchus Tani, which is included Tiferes in this, is also, remember, this is all part of what's going up. It's the name Yud-K Vav-K, which is 26 plus 45 is 71. So you have 72, 73, 71, and now the Revuah of Av is Yud-K Vav, Vav-K. Also Gematria 72. So if you put them all together, there's 288. Now exactly what it means, I don't know. Not yet, not right now. So he says, so I'll read it. I don't know what this is about, so let's find out. It says, Biruri ben Da'atik Yomim Va'ava V'zah. These are the Berurim. The straight Av is Berurim that come from the Malchus, which is Ben, the Atik Yamim, and also that same place, the Berurim of Ben that are coming from Abba, and also Zeranpin. That's what it looks like. Beruri Ben. Now, why Ben? Because Ben is the broken Malchus. Excuse me. Ben is the broken Kalim that come from the Shvira. So Beruri Ben, so we're bringing back these broken pieces of the Nuk, the Atik Yamim, and of Ima, and the Nuk, the Zeranpin. So this is the SAG plus the number 10 refers to this. Then we're going to the Av Dema. So I could read this part too. Av the Av Madrega Zion. So that has something to do with, we have to understand the different Madregas of where the Nitzutas are, but the broken parts are. Av the Sag Madrega He, the Zion, and also Zion. The next one is going to be the name, as we said, 26 plus 45 is 71. This is the Av the Ma. This is Ma. That is Ma. 45. Madrega, Gimel, and Zion. So that's something we're not going to get into right now. It's a lesson of its own. Beruri Ben. So now we got, this is the Beruri Ben, the Eric Anpen, V'Yasos, V'Yakov. Middle line, I guess. No, but Yasos is not the middle line. But that's what he says. These are the Berurim that go along with Eric Anpen, Yisrael Saba, and Yaakov. Now the last one is Av the Ben Madrega Base Shehi Dalid. So he says base, which is also the seventh. You have to know the story of the Rapach in order to really understand these Madregas, but I don't have it in the tip of my tongue. Malchus the Malchus is a Ravua. Beruri Ben the Nuk. So these are the Ben that we were. The Beruri means mining out. But it means, Berurim, it means, okay, so we'll just say it. These are the mind broken Kalim. The Nuk of the female, the Eric Anpen, but the Vuna Varachel. So up above we have Beruri Ben, the Eric Anpen, that's male, Vyas is male, and Yaakov is male. Beruri Ben, the Nuk, the Eric Anpen, but the Vuna Varachel. So both of them come up. Now we have a little bit more to do because I want to finish this page. So let's take a look at the rest of the page. So the rest of the page, let's see if we get this up, we'll do the whole thing. It's really to see yes or no. This is the name Av, Sag, and this is a Shilov of Av, and this is a Shilov, which we will see of Ekya and Havaya. And then we come down below and we see a whole series of the same thing. We'll go through it. Let's go through it, maybe a little bit longer than I wanted this year to be. So you said Vikaven, now you have all of this. The idea is all of these lights that we're putting together, the 42s together with the Oros, the Molchin, he said the Slomim, all of this has to be seen. So he says, so we saw all of that, all going up. So the idea is to take the roots of all of its lights to Yasos. Because where Zeranpin and Nuk, we're talking about Zun now, Zeranpin and Nuk, the parts of up above them is Yisrael Saba Tavuna. So then this Mayim Nukvin that's going up causes a yichud there between Sav and Yudah. And Gam Hein Chelki Kachbad. So they also take out this high level. Hakolim the Abba Ve'ima. So they take out all of the Chabad, Kachbad, Kesachach B'Bin Das. Hakolim the Abba Ve'ima Ba'amalim Osom Im HaBerurim Shalachem. And they bring them up together with the Berurim. And we saw the Berurim up above. These are what the Berurim look like. There are 4 sets of 72. There's 4 sets. They make up 4 times 72. Shalachem shenivraro al yedei zun la'aba ve'ima, that were refined out through zun. They're going to go to Abba ve'ima. V'oz nitan koch ba'aba ve'ima. So it went from zun to Yisrael Saba Tavuna. From Saba Tavuna, I believe that this is going all the way up. It's going up to Abba ve'ima. Over there at the level of Abba ve'ima, there's also a birur, because remember, there's a zat in every partsav. So therefore, wherever the zat broke, every partsav had a break. So he says that this sounds similar, not exactly Labdil, between every house in the land of Egypt in the time of Pesach, as there was the plague of the firstborn. All of those deaths all over the joint is the opposite. So they're able to bring up from themselves those parts of Eric Anpen which were destroyed in the Shvira. And they lift them up, im habirurim shalachem, together with the birurim, shenivraru al yedei yasos la Eric Anpen. So he says, Shenivraru al yedei yasos, the Eric Anpen, and they go up together with, came out of yasos into Eric Anpen. So in other words, he's saying that each level brings up to the level above it its birurim, and this all happened because of the concept of the Arba Besis based in. This is way I see it. V'kein al derek zeh, so we have the same thing as we go this way. Olim Eric Anpin Atik, from Eric Anpin, we also have birurim coming out, and they're going to where, to Atik. Va'ad SAG D'AHK. So if we look at SAG D'AHK, if we go all the way back to the most penimistic place that we could possibly looking for, the Vegas with the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, we finally come to SAG D'AHK. So Ak, we understand this is Pneumius. And we go to the very top of them. We make a yichud from the Av and the Sag of Ak. And this is what it looks like. It looks like we take the Av D'AHK, we take the Sag D'AHK, and we mix them together so that they look like this. The Zaveg Av Sag D'AHK, the zivug between the two of them looks like this, which we're going to see carried on down below. Now this is really a shir by itself, and we're running over time, but as I gate this, that's the way it goes. So he says, Lahamshek Eses Spheres the Ma. So what we're trying to do is to pull the 10 spheres of Ma, Memetzach D'AHK, from the forehead of Ak. Now, our understanding is if at the very top of Ak, above Ak, is infinity. So you're looking at the nothingness, the physical nothingness of the Ein Sof. We can, and what is the physicality of Ak? The physicality of Ak is that we can conceive of it. The physicality is in our minds. We can see it if we try, and this was doing, showing us where it is. So he said, the Ma, Memetzach D'AHK. So think about the Metzach D'AHK, the top of the forehead. Fetishlum Eses Spheres the Ben. It will cause the perfection, the completeness of the 10 broken spheres of Den, Me'anayim D'AHK, that are at the eyes of Ak. Shaychim La'osam Habirurim, and those which are genetically related to those Birurim Sha'al that are going up. B'sochim Eser Havayos Ve'ekyat, inside of them are actually 10 Havayos and Ekyas. B'nikud Eser Sephiros, which are Manukad. I don't see any Nikudim here. B'nikud ha'eser spheros. Let me read it again. He says, but that's how they would be. Not sure. Let's go on. Shehem the Ran cave, the Ran cave, the Nechi. And we keep working with Nahi, which is the top part of the light. Imagine a prism that has 5 different refractions. Prism of light. You take the first 3, the top 3. That's where we're going from. Ha'anim spheres shehem neranchi the Nahi. And I said it wrong, and I'll see. I said it right. It's the neranchi, the 5 lights of the 5 lights that are found in each one of neshama chayin yechida. Im or tamim, together with the light that comes from the tamim. So that's what he said, nekudos. He meant the nekudos in relationship to the tamim. Nekudos is a category. So it's a female category, I think. It's like SAG. Im or, that's what I think. The Naranchi, Im or hatamim, or ha'ein sof, with the inside of that will be a light which is called the light of tamim. We have tamim when we have the cantillations in the Torah, when we read the Torah. It is a remiss. If you learn the Otros Chaim, you see that it's a remiss to that. Vorha Ein Sof Baruch Hu is inside of all of them. Hamaluvish Bekeser D'AHK, which is clothed. The light of the Ein Sof is inside of the Keser D'AHK. Now he's asking you to picture the most high place imaginable. Hamisyachasim lebracha zu, which are related to this particular bracha, which has to do with tefillin. Meluvashim bechem, all of that is clothed inside of them. So here we could look at the left and we get an idea what's going on. This is a zivug ma'u ben D'AHK. This is a zivug of the ma'u ben D'AHK. You see they're going downwards. The shefa from up above is producing shefa that's coming down here, causing a yichud here. Then that shefa that's coming from the upper two is now causing a zivug of the ma'u ben D'Abba ve'ima. Then finally zivug ma'u ben Yasos. These are the delivery part. Yasos is the deliverer of the mochim to Zeranpin. Now let's read what they says. We'll go back over here real quick, and I think we're going to be able to finish this up here. He says, "Zivug mahu ben D'AHK, v'laham shichem." So all of these, the product, the tipos that are coming from that yichud, v'laham shichem bebechinas mochim, the parts of Chabad, the mahu ben D'AHK. We're going to bring these into the bechinas of the mochin, which we understand surrounds the or. The parts of Chagat the Ma'u ben D'AHK. There is a parts of called the Chabad. The Chabad is a male side and a female side. The Atik. Atik is the most high parts of that we can think of easily. So the in that high place, the best mochim, the best oros, they stay there. Shehem keser dema, which represent now the keser of this ma. Vahei rishon, the keser v'gimel the chochma. So it's all going to have this. This is the birurim he's explaining. This is contained in Shar Atek, and it's a difficult shar. So what you get is Shehem keser dema. You take ma, you take its kesarim. You take the Hey Rishon as the Keser, then you take the Hey Rishon as the Keser, the Gimel Rishon as the Chaser. So Hey Rishonas would be Keser, Chochma, Bina, Bina, I don't know if the Das and Chesed. We'll see, I don't know if Das is included. The Chochma, the Dar, and the Dalad Rishon is the Bina. The Zion Kesarim, the Zat, the Ben, and find the Kesarim of the 10 spheros of each one of the Zayin Tachtonis the Ben, the L'Zav Gama U Ben D'AHK. Well, this has been a real mouthful for me. I'm going to try to stick it out and try to get through this a little bit more. I think that the explanations here are going to get easier, but what it means to say is that as a result of bringing all of this up, you cause a yichud in the Most High. As a result of that, shefa starts flowing downwards, and we're looking at the shefa because it goes from one zivuk to the next. This said, "V'yamshik she'eris amochin l'ma'u ben D'AHK." So now we're in Erik Anpin. V'lahashir sham hamuvchashadim. The very best of the Mochin are going to stay in the level of Erikanpin. Shehem Chochma Dema, which are, now he's going to say, what's the very best? It's the Chochma Dema, and if you, Sharabarudim is in Sharabarudim. Vehe Achron is the Kesser the Ben, and then the 5 Achronis is the Kesser the Ben, V'zivug Hama'u Ben the Erikanpin, and it causes a yichud. When they do that, he said, V'yamsha, that yichud calls She'eris Amochet the Ma'u Ben the Abba V'ima. It causes that to happen over there. They leave in that yichud, the place of Abba Ve'ima, the very best of the mochid that they brought up, which had caused that yichud to take place. Shehem keser v'chochma debina dema, uvok the chochma the ben la'aba ilua. So this actually, I go fast through it. I don't think I want to take it apart right now. Ubina debina dema v'he kitzvos debina deben le'ima ilua v'zivuk hama uben da'aba v'ima iloi. And then it goes down to the next one, and the last one is v'yamshik she'eris hamochin lama uben da'yasos. You're going to take what's left over, because we left the very best part stayed at the upper level. V'lahashir sham hamovchar shebehem. That's what he says. What are they? Shehem devok debina dema. So ma has 10 spheros. Each one of those spheros has 10 spheros. So the 6 spheros of the bina dema, and also of malchus the chochma, also including in that, this is not separate answer, the malchus the chochma the ben the yasos, malchus the bina dema, malchus the bina the ben the tevuna, the zivug hama ben the yasos. Now all of those could be examined a lot more, but I know that we're running out of time. We went way over time, but I wanted to go through this. We'll go through a little bit faster the next time, so we'll be able to see the flow. That's what we want to do. Okay, this is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun, Elevator Code.